Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube and joining our tribe of survivors of narcissistic abuse. And I want to talk today about something we've all been through, and that's the isolation. You know, and it's a tactic that all narcissists use on us in order to extract as much fuel as possible during the life of the relationship. And at the beginning, when they're love bombing you, like, you want to be isolated, right? You just want to be like on a desert island with them and have it just be the two of you because it's so amazing, right? And that's a tactic that they are purposely using against you in the beginning. Like, these narcissists, they know what they're doing. They know what works. And when they love bomb you at the beginning, like, you know, everyone kind of goes through that phase where they don't see their family and friends that much. And that's normal in some relationships, but it is to the absolute extreme if you're with a narcissist. And that's on purpose. Like, they are purposely doing this to you. So you're going through the love bombing stage and you notice that you're not hanging around your family and friends as much. And for me, I even quit my job, and I know a lot of you have out there. You sacrifice everything for your narc because they are always have these grandiose ideas of how great things will be if you quit your job and join them on some adventure, is what they're always selling to you. And they do it in a way where you think you're so lucky to have found them, that you're going to be part of this. It's part of what a narcissist is. Like, they're almost like salesmen of bags of rocks. They will really try to sell you on this, but what they're doing is isolating you further in order to make sure that no one gets a drop of your fuel except for them. It's all part of their plan, right? And as time goes by, you notice that you really are isolated. You don't really talk to any of the friends that you had before you met your narc. You don't see your family as much ever. And a lot of you quit your jobs. You don't have your coworkers to bounce off of because the narc is petrified of getting found out. A lot of them are aware of what they are and they don't care, but they don't want you to find out. Once you start to have an inclination that they are just kind of sucking all the fuel out of you, and this relationship is actually one-sided, and once you start to know that they don't have empathy and don't care, that's when the devaluing starts. But at that point, you're so isolated, you're relying on them for a lot of things because you don't have your friends and family and coworkers and this network around you anymore to support you. You then only have them, and they're sucking all your fuel, and you're giving it to them because you're relying on them for so many other things. You've kind of turned them into your world. And when your reserves start going dry, that's when the discard happens and they go find new supply and start all over again. This grand cycle that they're always on. And you find out that this is just a long book of their life and you were one chapter, right? And it was tactful to isolate you like that. And when you're isolated, you don't have a lot of people to rely on. You only have them, and you are sucked dry of fuel, like the worst moment of your life, and that's when they leave you. And it was all part of the plan from the very beginning. And as the narc ages and goes through relationships, they get better at this. They get better at love bombing. They get better at isolating you. They get better at finding new supply. They get better at all of it. It's just like, having years of experience at a job. You get better at that job. That's what basically a narcissist is doing with their relationships. They're getting better at it. They're more experienced. And I can see it with, my narc's new supply. they are living off grid, you know, in a piece of property that is boat access only. I mean, how isolating is she? Like, I thought I was isolated and I was living in a city, and I have family members in the city and friends in the city, and I felt isolated. So yeah, he got way better at this, and I can kind of see where the relationship is going, because no one can be isolated like that and be happy for a long period, over a long period. After a few years of being alone with your narc and almost, losing your social skills with everyone else, it slowly kind of deteriorates you, especially if you're an extroverted person and an empath. You need people. And, that's what drew the narc to you in the first place, right? And they captured you and just, they tapped you for your fuel and they just sucked you dry. And when they leave you, that's why it's so devastating, because not only are you depleted of all your fuel, you're alone, right? And not only do you have to rebuild yourself, but you have to rebuild the relationships with your family and friends as well, because they were totally destroyed during your relationship with the narc. But they did this on purpose, okay? Because if, say, you have friends that need you, because everyone goes through stuff in their life, and if you had a lot of friends in your life and were spending a lot of time with them, that's more time away from your narc and fuel that's going to somewhere else and not to them. So they're isolating you to ensure that doesn't happen, because they're so greedy. They want every single drop of fuel you have, and that's why they're isolating you in every way they can. It is a tactic that they're doing on you, and it's so devastating when you realize it, and you're angry with yourself for not seeing it. But don't be. They are predators, right? So forgive yourself for falling into that trap. They sought you out and preyed on you. But you know what? We have something that the narc doesn't. We have the ability to rebuild ourselves, refuel ourselves. We can rebuild our relationships, and we can live happy lives again. The narc is on a path of destruction, leaving a wake of carnage in their life, going through supply after supply, failed business after failed business. In the end, they're the ones that are going to be old and decrepit and alone, right? Is what happens to all narcs in the end. So be glad that you have escaped, and be grateful that you have the ability to get past this and rebuild yourself into anything you want. You have that ability. They don't. So I want to remind everybody of that, and you can look forward to rebuilding yourself and going back into the world and enjoying being around people and doing anything that you want, because that's what we're all trying to do here. We're all trying to find support with each other, and we're all trying to learn from what happened so we can recognize it, and we can all help each other get past it. So please leave me your comments. Everyone has a different take on the things that they went through their narc, and we can all learn from it. So, and I really enjoy reading your guys' comments, because I learn a lot from them too. And I really appreciate you guys listening to me. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube. I'm glad that you've joined our tribe of survivors, Post Narcissist.